Hey guys, my name is Cameron Whitaker, and today I'm going to be speaking on prescription drug abuse. When we started this project, started looking at it, I ran through my mind about things that were bothering not only Morehead but Eastern Kentucky as a whole. Um, this was a pretty relevant topic that I found more and more information about as I went on. So let's get started. In our region of Eastern Kentucky, there are many issues affecting the people and the communities around it. Amongst bad habits and extreme poverty everywhere, Eastern Kentucky has recently been labeled one of the hardest places to live in the entire country. To me, that's amazing. I think that people around here are not fully aware of the drug abuse that's been running rampant around the state of Kentucky. Eastern Kentucky and its counties are making up what could be considered and called an addiction zone. The non-medical use and abuse of prescription drugs seems to be somewhat of a silent epidemic that's taking the entire state by storm in recent years. In an article that was written by Jessica Blanchard in 2013, she states, according to the Attorney General, Kentucky has the sixth highest overdose rate in the entire country. Outstanding. In the same article, Blanchard says that since 2000, the number of unintentional deaths due to drug overdose has jumped from 205 to over 1,000 in 2012. To try to put that whole statement into perspective, in the year 2012, more people died in the state of Kentucky from prescription drug overdoses than car accidents. The most commonly abused prescriptions are opioids or painkillers. Opioid painkillers are highly addictive to some individuals and have the same effect in your body chemically as heroin or other types of opium. When combined with alcohol and possibly other drugs, respiratory and cardiac systems are slowed and excited to dangerous levels, which can result in death. Disruption in other bodily functions may result in excessive urination or sweating, uncontrollable nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. Nobody wants any of that. Users may also experience seizures, a coma, or death as a result of misusing painkillers and not reading the label on the back. Some people in Eastern Kentucky are under the impression that prescription drugs are safer because they're simply prescribed by a doctor. That's not the case at all. Reports from the CDC said opiates kill twice as many people than heroin or cocaine. In the article titled Kentucky Drug Addiction and Treatment Information, several counties in Kentucky lead the nation in quantity of narcotic pain medication distributed. Kentucky has been taking provisions to help fight against prescription drug use in its state. In Blanchard's article I mentioned earlier, she stated that in 2005, Kentucky became the first state to launch an online tracking system for potentially addictive drugs. This new system pretty much just monitors the dispenser, the prescriber, and the individual who's receiving the prescription. In the recovery article, it refers to a survey that was taken from 25,428 people. They were admitted into Kentucky drug and alcohol rehab programs back in 2010. And they said that of those admitted, 66.9% were men and the other 33.1% were female. When you break it down, it comes to preventing the drug issue. In reality, it's nearly impossible. To me, the basic and the basis of this problem is just simply warning people about the dangers of prescription drugs. They're in our house and they're dangerous. Also, not handing these drugs out to people outside of the house is another big issue. It's simple. If you have prescription drugs, keep them in your house. When they get into the hands of others, it's easy to black market sell them, to get them out to other people who are willing to pay the big bucks and are using them for the wrong reasons. An article written from WKYT in Lexington recently stated that Eastern Kentucky still struggles with drug abuse, leading the state in 5 of the top 6 counties for overdose deaths in 2013. And even though the statistics still look bad on paper, it is said that subjects are seemingly slowing improvement. I mean, they're slowly showing it. So when dealing with such a big subject, where it's taken root, honestly, in the United States, it's okay to celebrate small victories. Small victories are what build big victories. By simply putting more police officers in the street, we have more eyes out in the community looking out and to crack down on this issue. It sounds silly, but it works. You have to understand that there's never going to be a time in history when there's no drugs on the streets. There's just going to be less of it, and we can work towards that. In Pike County alone, here in Kentucky, the number of overdoses has gone down a total of 12 people in the year 2012-2013. That's a huge, huge step in the right direction. Drug abuse is the main reason most people in the state of Kentucky end up behind prison bars. Most crimes are basically just committed so they can keep up with the habits they've become accustomed to while compounding more and more drug use. Only so much money is going to be allocated every year to pay for substance abuse treatment and for prisons. And in the past 5 years, we've seen an incredibly large jump in money that's being used than there's money allocated for. So just to break down my whole semester, by doing research and listening and talking to people, what I've understood is that simply by implementing this program that we have in the state that tracks the prescription drugs, that's cracking down alone. By simply putting more cops out on the street also has brought things down. It's not going to be an issue that we can resolve instantaneously, but it's a job that we can educate people about at a younger age more about. Something we can get in the schools about, something we can be in the streets with police officers policing these things more. Sometimes it's obvious, sometimes it's not. It's good to see that our state's taking the right steps, very simple steps. So hopefully in the next 5 to 10 years we can say that we are done with all of this prescription drug use. Probably not going to happen, but it's an epidemic here in Eastern Kentucky, and hopefully we can take care of it by taking these simple steps. So, thanks.